Howdy folks, Big Anklovich here, and I used to be 300 pounds. I had high blood pressure and was on a fistful of meds every single day. But then I found the carnivore diet, and I lost 100 pounds, and my high blood pressure has settled back to normal. And I didn't do that with the meds. I don't take any of those medicines anymore. I don't take a thing any day of the week anymore. And so I come here to talk about that, to just let people know that you can recover your health too, just like I recovered mine. And I want to talk a little bit about one of the best ways to do that today. The other day I was talking with a friend of mine, an old friend that I knew from when I was a little kid, and we were reminiscing about things. And I remembered the old pills. We used to have these acerola vitamin C pills. They're those big white wafer ones that were chewy, or not chewy, but chewable. You could chew them up, and they were super sweet, probably loaded with sugar. Which, of course, yeah, that's what you want. And it loaded with vitamin C. And I was talking about how it's funny. All the things when I was a kid that I thought were good for me just aren't. And everything that we didn't think was good for us, it turns out actually is. And, I made reference to those. And he said, what? Those were fine. And so I found a video where Sally K. Norton, the carnivore expert, I don't know, on oxalates, was talking about it and how vitamin C turns into oxalate in the body. And I texted it to him. He texted me back and he said this: I find her views too extreme. For me personally, I can't get behind extreme thinking. I prefer moderation and work towards that, but I still have much work to do. Now, I have to admit, I was really irritated when I saw that text. This is my friend from high school who got me to go out for football. And we both played football together for a while. We started going to the gym together after school as well, as part of, the whole football thing. They wanted us to be bigger and stronger so we could push people around out there. But my friend got so into working out that he eventually quit football just so he could concentrate more on working out. It became his thing. His thing was being the workout guy. And he's always been that ever since. Obviously, I have not, or I wouldn't have weighed 300 pounds. But he's always done that. He's always stuck with it. And when I got that text from him, I was pretty annoyed. And I said, yeah, someone like you, someone who looks like you, can probably be moderation in all things. But how many people in the world look like you? How many people out there are in a state that they can just be moderate? That is something that I think is just probably the biggest mistake that people make when they try to turn a new leaf and become healthy. They think, I just need to moderate. I can moderate all this stuff. Just have a little bit of this and a little bit of that. There's a reason why we all weigh so much more than we should. And it's because we can't moderate. We can't moderate, and the foods in our modern world are made to not be moderated. They're made to be addictive and impossible to stop eating. They've engineered food to the bliss point where they put just the perfect ratio of fat and salt and sugar all together, and they've tested it with focus groups and made sure that it is exactly the right level to get people as addicted to it as possible, so they can't put it down. They eat it all. We eat it all, and then we go back to the store to buy some more because we liked it so much. That is what this world is like. And, it's been, I think, I don't know if it could be counted as the scientific consensus. Maybe the cultural consensus is a better way to put it. That moderation is the way to go. That's what we should do, is just moderate. You can have everything if you just eat a little bit of it. Of course, we can't do that. For some reason, people don't believe that sugar and carbs can be an addiction. Instead, they don't think of them like other addictions. Nobody would tell an alcoholic, oh, just moderate. Just have one drink every day. That's it, just one. And then go down to just a half. Nobody's going to say that to an alcoholic. They're not going to say that to a heroin addict or to somebody who gambles or any of those addictions. But for some reason, they're fine to say that to someone who is addicted to sugar, someone who weighs 300 pounds and is on blood pressure medication, etc. I went, after being diagnosed for diabetes, to a nutritionist. This person was supposed to help me. And what do they say? Oh, just moderate what you're eating. Just eat a little bit. It's okay. They actually told me to eat more carbs than I already was, which, I don't know. That was not a good idea. But yeah, I thought I would look at this example with you guys. Just a little demonstration of just how moderation does not work. You see, back in 2019, I started this channel out. I had come to the end of my rope, and I wanted to make a big change. I had done a little bit of keto, and I'd done a little bit of alternate day fasting, and then I learned about carnivore, and I thought, this, I think, is the way. This is the end point of keto. I need to do this, and it will get me where I want to go. And so I started up this channel, and I started eating carnivore and fasting, and it worked out pretty well. So I weighed in at 297 on Tuesday morning. Yeah, that's what I started at, 297. Like I said, I used to weigh 300 pounds. Okay, that's not quite 300 pounds, but I'm just rounding off. But yeah, things started going well. My weight started dropping and dropping and dropping, and I kept cruising through and on down as I stuck to carnivore and alternate day fasting. I did really well, and I got all the way down to 220. And then some trouble came along. Okay, it is Tuesday, and my dad passed away today. As you can guess, that was a pretty difficult day, and I wasn't particularly good with the coping skills, really. And so this is what I settled on doing. It's a long life of soothing my troubles with food. You know what? Screw it. I'm just going to have something. And I got out the Parmesan cheese that we had, and I cut myself a few slices of that. And I ate that. And then I said, you know what? I'm going all the way. And I went to the store, and I bought some cream cheese, and I made some of that cream cheese fluff stuff. The keto cream cheese thing, and I had that. In case you're wondering, cheesecake fluff is basically cream cheese and cream blended up in a mixing bowl with a bunch of artificial sweetener in it. It's a keto treat that I used to try and soothe myself. But yeah, you should never, ever do that. Do not allow something sweet in, because the second you do, the cravings will return. And when you do, the cravings will get stronger and stronger, and then you'll give in again, and they'll get stronger and stronger, and you'll give in again. The story is going to start sounding really familiar to you as we go on. Here's what happened the next day. What did I do today? Well, I did all sorts of more bad stuff. Earlier today I had food. I wasn't supposed to. I was supposed to be fasting today. I said I was going to yesterday, but I'm not. Instead, I ate some bacon and a couple of hamburgers And I also had some more of that cheesecake fluff. So that was what I ate earlier today before I went to work. So yeah, so there you go. More of that cheesecake fluff, which I don't know if I said this before, but it's kind of like eating the center of a cheesecake without the crust and with artificial sweetener, which, as I said, avoid it. It's not going to work out. But yeah, that's what I did. And you see that it's cascading. It's going downhill. I had one little thing. I was trying to moderate. I thought, oh, I can just have this one little thing. It won't matter. It's small. It's a little thing. And then once, this troubled time has passed, I'll get on with it. But what happened? Well, let's see. I actually drank a couple of sugar-free Monster energy drinks, which I haven't had anything like that in a long time. And at the rest stop here, I just bought myself a Diet Dr. Pepper. I don't know, I'll get back to it, I guess, later. I had several Monster energy drinks, several diet sodas, which I don't think I've done any of those since I started this. I had more cream cheese fluff. And yeah, I actually I made some up, ate it, and then a short time later, I made some more up and ate it. I'll be fine. I'll get back to it once the week is over. I kept saying stuff like that. I kept saying, oh, I'm going to stop. It's time for me to stop. And then I would do something like this. I probably should have never opened the door to it again. I meant to be done with it before today started, but today I found myself stopping at the gas station and thinking, oh, well, I haven't had my one favorite soda that I used to drink before I started in on this, which is a Diet Sunkist. In case you were wondering, Diet Sunkist is the best soda for diet sodas anyways. I couldn't find that anywhere as I was driving, and so I had other stuff that I didn't like as much. And then, yeah, I'm like, oh, well, I got to get that before I get back to no soda. And so I stopped and I got myself one. And then when I got to work, I was like, oh, well, I'll just have another soda from the vending machine, which I wound up having 2 sodas from the vending machine. So I have eaten or drank. I have drank. I have had too many sodas. And today was supposed to be the day I didn't have any. So tomorrow will be that day. And I will keep that going from here on out. Soda is over and done with. I bet this story sounds really familiar by now, doesn't it? Yeah, and then of course there's the days like this where you're just like, okay, I've had enough. I'm not gonna let it get me anymore. I'm gonna turn this around right now. And you do. It is Friday and I've managed to fast the whole day through so far. And I'm kind of proud of myself, to tell you the truth. But those cravings have got their claws in you. And what happens? Well, the very next day, after you finally do something right, you fall apart again. It is Saturday and I guess nobody's perfect. And that is what I am demonstrating today. Yeah, I blew it so much. Yeah, that is what happens again and again and again. And it is so tough. This was my first experience with Carnivore. I lost 70 pounds. And I got down to levels that I thought I'd never be able to get down to again. And I was so excited. And I was so happy. And I was so much of a fan of Carnivore. But I thought I could moderate. Thought if I just had a little bit, then maybe, I could stop again and it would be fine. And sometimes it works. Sometimes you actually do have a little bit and then go back to it just fine. But there's always going to be that time when it's too much, when the addiction gets back on. That monkey gets on your back again and you can't stop it. And you'll careen down the cliff. You will not be able to stop yourself. And you'll be back where you started from, which is where I found myself. It took me years. I tried again and again and again to restart Carnivore. And it wasn't until 2023, 3 full years later, that I finally managed to get myself under control again. By that time, I weighed 290 pounds again, and I had to lose it all over again. That 70 pounds that I'd already lost, I had to start on again. And only just recently have I finally gotten past it. So, don't try to moderate. Let me just say, if you have a problem with carbs, which is probably why you're here, it's why most of us are here. A few of you probably are watching this going, this guy's up in the air. I don't know what he's talking about. This is stupid. And you're going to leave a mean comment. But most of you guys understand that you can't control yourself. And that's one of those things that you need to admit to yourself to start off, and then make sure you act on that. Know that you can't control yourself, and you can't let yourself do even the littlest bit, because it will send you down that trail and you'll have to start all over again. Let me tell you, that sucks. Really sucks. What I wouldn't give to have those years back, 3 years, have been done with this in 2021 instead of 2025 like it is now. And all the years that I could have, been enjoying the fruits of my efforts, feeling good, being healthier. How much more damage did I do to myself in those 3 years as I went back to the same old crap that I used to do before? You don't want to let that happen. And that is the way to make sure that it doesn't happen. You get on meat and you stay on meat and you don't do anything else. Not even a little bit, just here or there, because when you get that sweet taste in your mouth, you get a little bit of carbs, then it's just a slippery slope. It's not the slippery slope fallacy. This is a true slippery slope. You slip right on down and off the cliff. So don't let it happen. Moderation doesn't work, despite what the super smart folks at Harvard want to tell you about health. You don't need to eat lots of vegetables, and you don't need to moderate. Okay? Now, one other thing to watch out for. There are some foods in carnivore that can be trigger foods. That can be the thing that gets you started on your way, I've found. If you tighten up your diet, let's say you decide I want to do beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. Well, that doesn't allow for a fair number of things. And if you start doing those things a little bit, it's still fine. It's still carnivore. You have cheese. It's carnivore. It's fine. That's one of those foods that I know is definitely kind of a trigger food, especially for me. Maybe your foods are different. Another one for me is pork rinds. There's something about them. I don't know if it's just because they feel like chips or what, but it's a trigger food. It gets me... I think I'm cheating. I feel like I'm cheating. And the next thing you know, I'll start cheating for real. That's what happens with both of those. So watch out. Look for those kind of things. If there's something like that that you feel like is leading you towards that. Even though you're allowed to have it, you can have it. It's fine. It's still carnivore. But if it's going to lead you off of carnivore, then you shouldn't do it anyways. Just skip it. And I guess that's my advice for you today. Don't moderate. Just abstain. Abstain from the stuff that's going to send you over the cliff. And it will help you towards success. All right, folks. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time on Big Anklevich on Health.